We're here to break down the big stories that have everyone talking.
So, today we're digging into a question that seems to be popping up everywhere lately. We're looking at 4 different celebrities, 4 very different situations, but they all boil down to this one thing: a fight for control. Control over their art, their safety, and even their own stories.
Okay, so let's jump right in, starting with an artist trying to control a single creative moment. I'm talking about Justin Bieber.
So picture this. Bieber decides to do this pop-up show, not in a massive stadium, but at the legendary Roxy in LA. It's all very last minute, announced through a secret link. The whole vibe was meant to be super intimate, a really special experience for a small group of fans. And get this, a ticket was only $50, a total steal. But, and this is a really big but, that ticket came with one very important string attached.
The one and only rule was simple: no phones. He wanted to create this pure moment, an experience that was shared only by the people physically in that room, connected by the music, not looking at it through a screen.
But you know how it is. In an age where if it's not on camera, it didn't happen, the rule was almost doomed from the start. And sure enough, despite him personally asking everyone not to record, footage was online almost instantly. The one rule was broken, the whole vibe was shattered, and he was reportedly just heartbroken by it.
So, we go from trying to control an experience to a truly terrifying struggle to control your own safety. And Billie Eilish's story? Well, it takes this whole theme to a much, much darker place. For years, Billie Eilish was just relentlessly tormented by a stalker at her family's home. And just look at this timeline. This is just a 2-day window. It escalates so fast, from a guy who seems lost, to him sitting on her porch, to him literally lying in wait behind a wall on her property. It's absolutely chilling.
And then you see these words, taken directly from a letter he actually sent her. If you don't take it seriously, you will die. I mean, this isn't just some overzealous fan. This is a direct, terrifying threat that put her and her entire family in a state of constant fear.
The situation came to a really tragic and unexpected end. The stalker was recently killed in an accident. And it's a grim thing to say, but for Eilish, after living through that nightmare for so long, it finally brought a sense of peace and safety.
Now, the pressure doesn't always come from just one person. Sometimes it feels like it's coming from the entire world, watching every single move you make. And that brings us to the very public romance between Kylie Jenner and Timothée Chalamet.
So after Chalamet had a pretty tough award season, the rumor mill went into overdrive. Suddenly you had these 2 competing stories leaking out. From his side, you heard whispers about the Kardashian effect, this idea that being linked to her was hurting his serious actor image. But from her camp, the response was basically, hold on a minute, he's a grown man who makes his own choices.
And the key thing here is that the pressure on them is coming from absolutely everywhere. You've got the industry, you've got his own family reportedly disapproving, and then, of course, you have the nonstop glare of the public on social media, trying to define their very personal relationship.
And all of this struggle for privacy, for safety, for a relationship, it all leads us to our final story. And this is really the ultimate fight for control. The fight to own your own story when powerful forces are trying to silence you.
This whole battle centers on a legal document called a non-disclosure agreement, or an NDA. FKA Twigs is suing her ex, Shia LaBeouf, because she says an NDA from their relationship is being used illegally to keep her from talking about the abuse she claims she suffered.
Now, her entire lawsuit really hinges on this incredibly powerful law in California. And the idea behind it is simple, but it's profound. You cannot use a legal contract, an NDA, to silence a victim of a crime. It's just not allowed.
And the allegations themselves are just devastating. We're talking about everything from physical assault to constant mental abuse. The lawsuit even claims the NDA is so broad it stops her from working with or even donating to charities for domestic violence victims. It's unbelievable.
According to her lawyer, this fight isn't about money. It's about reclaiming her own narrative, and by doing that, standing up for so many other victims who might not have her platform or her resources. It's a fight to own her truth. So, from a leaked performance to a legal battle over the right to speak, you can see how these are all just different fronts in the exact same war for control. And it really leaves us with one last thing to think about. In a world where we're all spectators, how do our own actions, our clicks, our comments, our shares, how do they contribute to the very pressure these people are trying to escape?